What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. I am happy to be here. I am back from out of town. It seems like I've been gone forever since I've been in San Antonio since Wednesday all the way through Monday. So before we get started, guys, this podcast is brought to you by HERR Apparel. I finally have everything in the process of being made after I don't know how many months of waiting for sizes to be in. So, bummer alert.
What?
I didn't find zip up jackets. I did, but it was either I could only find small, medium, extra large, 2XL, no large, or it was like I could never, and even all different shades of pink that I tried, it was always like missing a size. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that I found that was what I envisioned was a pink hoodie. And so that's what I had to go with, which really sucked because that's not what I envisioned, but all good. It's all right. So with that being said, because what we're going to talk about today, I felt this was perfect, and I don't have a coffee in my hand, but I did earlier. So coffee in one hand, ambition in the other.
Ooh, I like it.
So we're going to talk about ambition because this weekend, guys, I went to take a little tour to Davies Entertainment, right? So this is a guy, I think, who has actually a show. It's like money making in the business or making the business, something like that. And his story was very interesting because it started with him just making one little ice cream place he built, put it in a food park, and then people kept asking him like, oh, who made your little food truck thing? You know, your little ice cream shop. Oh, I did. Really? Can you make me one? Sure. Next person. Oh, who made? I did. Can you make me one? Sure. And so then from there, he went to that to have I don't know the size square footage of that warehouse that we went to go visit, but it just made you feel like you weren't doing anything in life.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this yesterday during one of our creative meetings, but go ahead and set the landscape for everybody. Like, this was in San Antonio, right? Like, how did you guys come across this individual, and what were y'all doing? Just exploring?
So his, I think his director for like filming that he does, it knows Chingo from the past, okay. Right? Coincidentally, how crazy is this? Is that his wife is a production manager type thing. So they hire her for special projects. So she was hired on to do payroll for the HBO, which my husband was a part of, right? So she and I had been communicating back and forth. I never met her, but she was like, oh, hey, by the way, my husband knows your husband. And she was like, sorry, I didn't get to, she caught COVID during the time of HBO, so she couldn't be there.
Oh, wow.
So, and crazy thing, want to know how she caught it? He was coming back from a production gig that he had in California, in Oakland. Caught it out there in the places where it's the most strict. Mm-hmm. Yet he's been here in Texas, in San Antonio, and had never caught COVID in the past however long. What has been going on for 2 years?
Yeah, year and a half.
Okay. And he had never caught it here. He goes to California where the rules are super strict, he said, and he came back with COVID. Wow. Yeah, which is crazy.
That's gotta be super annoying.
Want to know why? What's even more annoying is that they test you every day that you come on set.
The production company must have you with masks.
Exactly. And you get tested every morning before coming before you can get started, which I thought it was crazy. Like,
how was she? Like, how did she deal with it? Did you ask her about it or no?
She said they were all fine. She said the only thing they had were like headaches.
Yeah.
So even her kids caught it. Her son and her daughter did too. So they all caught it. First, it was the husband. Then the wife and the two kids got tested. None of them came back positive. But then the daughter called one day home. She got home from school and said, hey, Mom, I feel kind of weird. She's like, I think I might be getting sick. And so she's like, yeah, I don't know. Your dad has COVID. Even though they had him isolated, it's like it could have been, because it shows up later on. It doesn't show up immediately. Sure enough, she came. She was positive. The daughter was, although her only symptom was she just kind of felt tired.
Right.
And that was it. So she's like, if she has it, we for sure have it because I've been with them. You know what I'm saying? She goes and gets tested, same thing. And then the son comes out is positive also. At that point, they're like, fuck it, let's just all hang out in the living room. Now, at this point, like we can't do shit, you know, and we're all infected at this point.
They just stayed home.
They just stayed home. They kind of just quarantined there. And then she said afterwards, she kind of paid someone to come in and kind of clean up the, you know, germs or guess whatever happens.
Just a deep cleaning.
Yeah, just deep cleaning.
Well, good thing they all dealt with it really well.
Yeah, they all were fine. Thank God. Nobody got anything serious. But what tripped me out was he caught it in a place where they're super duper strict. Not to mention you're tested when you're going on to production every day, you know. So I thought that was crazy, you know, because they made, like when Pete did the HBO, he had to be tested. Yeah. And I had to keep track of like his little tests or whatever. So, you know, they're that strict. Exactly.
I wonder how much longer this is all going to go. I don't want to go on a side tangent of COVID. I know we talk about it every day.
I know. I don't know either, but it was trippy. But anyway, so I had been chit-chatting with her. She said, hey, we're going to your husband's show. I'd love to meet you finally. And I was like, okay, sure. Mind you, I'm so weird about meeting new people all the time. So my thing is always like, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just... The old me would have been like, girl, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure you come. You know what I'm saying? It's weird because I don't feel that way about fans.
Oh, wait, start over. You're just talking about regular people.
Regular people.
Regular civilians.
Yeah. But when like fans of like my husband or any of my followers, they're like, I can't wait to meet you. I'm going to stop by I'm always like, please stop by the merch book, say hello so I can put the face to the name.
To the name.
Yeah, exactly. All the time.
Okay.
And because I guess to me, it's more of a curiosity of like what you look like, because, you know, you chat with a few people who, you know, like again, Cardenas Crew. Mm-hmm. I did not know her real name. I just call her Cardenas Crew all the time. She's somebody that I chit chat with a lot. Yvette, I think is her name.
I think so.
Her name too.
I was going to say, because they don't have avatars of themselves. Like,
yeah,
it's like something else.
Exactly. So those are people that I never knew the face. And a lot of times these people are private. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't ever really know what they look like. So there's just certain people whose names I recognize because they're the ones who interact with my social media the most. And I probably respond to those people the most. So I just like putting the face to the name. You know, I like to know who they are. It's the craziest thing, maybe because I appreciate their support in what my vision is and what my husband's vision is, you know? So that's, you're more appreciative, maybe. I don't know. Not saying that I'm not appreciative of other people, but you know what I mean? Like, I just appreciate that they believe in whatever dreams we're trying to, you know, create, because, you know, if there is no consumer, then there's no brand. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I don't know how else to thank them. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the bottom of my heart, how much I appreciate them. So to me, it's like, I want to meet you. I want to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're part of my journey because you're part of who created and helped grow my brand, you know? So to me, it's super important. So I was like, sure, like, let's meet up. Right. And those types of connects are super duper important to also have. Yeah. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was like vaguely listening to this interview Pete was watching, and he was saying how it is important to hang out with people who can probably help solve your problems versus if you kind of hang with people who
got problems,
who have the same probably type of small, like your big problem to you and the type of community you hang out with is big, but to somebody who has a lot of money, your problem is so small. And they'd be like, oh dude, I know so-and-so who knows so-and-so who can help you out. Bang, dang, there you go. And so it's like,
or just because it's all relationships, right?
Yeah. So the more people like that, you know, that way and that help you out, it's like, then you turn around and do the same for others who are maybe like starting off. And it's so true, right? Because these connections are important. So her and her husband work at the Davies Entertainment. They're partners with them. And, you know, we went and we toured the whole place. I mean, guys, this place is massive. I'm not talking about a little warehouse. I'm talking about a warehouse. Like, I don't know how many warehouses that is. Like, if I had to say, let's see. It's a minimum of 10,000 square feet.
It's pretty big.
A minimum. That might just be the first half of it. Not to mention the other building across the street where they manufacture and, what do you call it? Wrap and fabricate and print, and they do everything in-house. There's no having to pay a third party to do their stuff. He pays them all within house. They work for this man. But he's got a boxing gym and then a regular gym, the gym that you can come to and pay $30 a month to work out in. Then there's another section of the gym for athletes, from the basketball teams or whatever, who maybe don't want to work out in a more like populated area. They want to be left alone, not ask for pictures. There's a section for just like athletes who want to come and work out, which is a little bit further back. There's a recovery room. Like I said, there's tubs. There's even like a place where you can get a massage. There's a place for you to get a haircut. There's a barber. There's a hairstylist. When I went, there was a girl getting her hair highlighted and she was going to get extensions put in. There's a clinic on site. Should any of the athletes or the boxers need anything, they go see the nurse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's insane. My husband, that's really how the tour happened more so, was because this guy's like, hey dude, I think you really need a steroid shot, because my husband, backstory, my husband has really bad allergies. He's been performing all weekend with these bad allergies. I don't know how he didn't go into a coughing session on stage from like talking so much, but it's not COVID, guys, just in case y'all are wondering. Because my mom was like in the restroom when she came over and she heard Pico. She goes, she didn't know how to say, because she knows going to get mad, right? She's like, get annoyed when she's so over the top. And she knows it herself. She's so like, everything is like, oh my God, Yeah. And so she'll say, me preocupa, mija. It's not COVID, ma. It's allergies.
And she just does it because she cares, but she's like, I know this is annoying. Yeah.
And so I think for her, it's like the whole COVID. She's afraid. She's known so many people to die from it. That's the other problem, It was like, that's the funny thing. It's like it's not funny that a lot of her friends have passed. That's not funny, but she's terrified of it. But it's funny because of the fact that it's like every other week she's telling me how she knows. She's a hairdresser. Yeah. So she speaks to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And so she was like, saying like, oh, do you know so-and-so? I'm like, yeah, she died. They died of COVID. And I'm like, okay, did they die because of COVID, or
like, did they die with it or from it?
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. So I was like, which one was it? There's a difference. And she's like, well, no, there's not a difference. She's like, it's the same thing. And I'm like, no, it's not the same thing. I'm like trying to explain to her, but it doesn't matter. So the reason we went was because the nurse, their on-site nurse, gave him a steroid shot. And while we were there, he's like, come take a tour, like, come check this out. And it's funny because as he was talking, right, giving us a tour and explaining, obviously my husband's like 100% all ears, like taking in everything they're saying. Meanwhile, everything sounds like womp, 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 like that to me. Because all I'm doing is staring and feeling like I've accomplished zero in life. You just you're in there, and I'm just like looking at everything, and I'm like, I'm not even the tip of his nail of what he's done. Does that make sense? So while my Chingo was taking it all in, right, and listening how he got started and he was doing this, I was hearing more, womp, 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 what you gonna do when you get back home? Yeah. And that's what I mean about ambition. Sure. Because I think that sometimes, or a lot of times, people's ambition is bigger than everyone else's. While I think I'm ambitious, but after seeing that, I'm obviously not ambitious, or not ambitious enough, or I just didn't have the right product. You know what I'm saying? It just makes you think, like, when you see people make such big moves like that, or that they're doing such big moves, it's like, what did it take? Because while I was thinking of all that, I was thinking about the logistics part of it. I'm like, oh my God. So he has to totally have an HR department. He has to totally have payroll department. Like, all that was like, yeah, I'm all that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, it was overwhelming. I was just like, to get all that starting in a company where you have to have an HR department, you have to have, like I said, a payroll department, where you're having all these things. I mean, that's on a way bigger scale. And now Discovery, they were on I guess, a cousin network, and now they're on the mama network. They're going to Discover Plus just offered, but so did Netflix.
Interesting.
To buy their series that they had on this other channel. So they don't know who to go with.
Wow.
Right now, that's kind of where they are.
Very cool.
I mean, is that not the best problem to have?
That's awesome.
Do I go to Discovery or do I go to Netflix? And granted, my husband has had a special on Netflix. Now he's got an HBO on his resume, but it's like, it's not our own producer. Well, except for that they can't deport us all. That he's producer / he owns.
And then there's also the Hulu thing, right? Was it Hulu or Prime where the birth story, where you guys had it?
That hasn't happened yet, but yes, that's where it's going. It's going to Prime. Yes. So that's still in the works, though, but that's where it's going.
But let's get back to the meat and potatoes of this ambition, right? So you're taking all this, or he's taking all this in, and you're kind of walking around. What exactly, when you're hearing want, what's your head really saying? Like, what are you gathering?
I'm really gathering that I need to go back and reevaluate what we're doing and how we're not being efficient to probably accomplish this. Like, it's going to take a team. Like, I feel like I'm going to need interns first before I can have permanent people like come in and help. But that's what it's going to take for us. It's going to take us having people who are willing to come and work with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, so you're probably not going to get paid right now, but just know that, we're a startup and that is the goal. You know what I'm saying?
I guess let's go back to what was the ambition, not prior, but like when you look at what they had going on, you're like, man, I feel like I haven't done anything. Do you know what his goal was? Like when he started this, what was he trying to do? What did he tell you he was trying to do?
He was going through, it's not even him. We were talking to the guy that he knows.
If you hear silence, guys, usually it's an important message Marisol's got to read.
Yes, it's my husband. You know how that is.
This is a good time to actually say, go to patreon.com/HERR Lounge podcast to get all the premium episodes that drop on Fridays and to be a part of all the other stuff that Marisol posts inside Patreon.
Yeah, for sure. Good episode. I'm going to record it tomorrow. So I'm going to, on Patreon for this week, I'm going to go ahead and make a video about the different types of running shoes that workout shoes that are good, because as everybody's kind of joining in the, the HERR community and wanting to start to get fit, a lot of those questions are it. And if you're looking for athletic wear, guys, you know that you can go to HERR Apparel. Don't forget to use Thanks15 and you can get 15% off our athletic wear as well. So as you're starting your fitness journey, and I'm not just saying this because it's my brand, but I am saying it because it is my brand. The fabric on these are unbelievable. You can be around them all day. Like they're not like caving in your rib. Some of them, the elastic is it's just perfect. So, and I offer like a in between size that a lot of brands don't do that. So I have an extra large, right? Then there's a 1X. 1X usually is extra large, but I have an extra large, 1X, 2X. So if you're somebody who's in between a extra large and a 2X, there's that in between size. I offer it. So
I've never even heard of that.
I know. There you go.
Wow.
That's because HERR Athletics has things that others don't.
Looking out. Okay. Innovating over here.
So, But yes, going back to the ambition, I guess for me, like we have, like I told you what we did in the restroom. I think I talked about it on the last episode. I took down the like decorative thing that I had on the wall and I put in like a vision board up there so that I can see clear what we want to do. Like we talk about what we want, and trust me, we work at it, our things are usually like investing in real estate, right? So that's usually where our investments right now are mostly real estate.
Sure.
Okay. So that's what we have, our rental houses, right? Granted, you don't get your money back in return like you would do other things. But right now, because to be honest with you, after this whole pandemic that happened, it's like you have to think about being pandemic proof. Right. Like, what is the next journey? Now, live entertainment, we don't know which direction it's going to go because of the fact that, if venues start to require people to be vaccinated, right? What's that going to do to us? I don't feel like we should have to force people to get vaccinated to come watch a show. You know what I'm saying? I still feel it should be your choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what are we going to do there? Does that mean that now, does that put like what our main job is at risk? Yeah, pretty much. Because if, giving you the example of California, if all of California turns to must have a vaccine card, which all of California isn't, by the way. I didn't know that. I thought the way CNN even tells the story, it makes it seem as though all of California has to have.
County.
It's just LA County. Yes. So, anyway,
I think that's what you're going to find. You're going to be able to like cross over just to other counties, other lines, and just be able to set up shop. Like, you know, let's say you wanted to do the, whatever it is, the Wilbur Theater or the whatever it is, you'll just, or the Orpheum, you'll just go across the street to Orange County or to some other county and do it there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it's going to be more time consuming. You know what I'm saying? Like finding the venues that are not going to require, you know, all XYZ. Like I said, I don't have a problem with like getting tested. Like if you need for us to get tested before going into your venue, fine. Like I'm not like, you know,
it's the forcing you to do anything. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's the forcing.
This isn't China. This isn't Russia.
I don't feel like I should have to do it. I still feel it's my choice, and you know, my body, my choice, right? Isn't that what?
Well, I don't know. You're a girl at this point, so that doesn't count either.
You know, yeah, exactly. But so I don't know what's going to happen. So for us right now, while usually during a tour, we'd be like, how much money are we projecting to make? Okay. And can we get, how many rentals can we get this year? Does that make sense?
Forecasting. Like you really want to forecast.
Yeah. So that was in the past because we kind of knew how many shows were, you know, how many cities we were touring, etc. So we can kind of like set a goal for the year of like, I'm just going to give you an example. Let's just say, okay, this year we're going to do 3 rental houses, right? So, okay, so it's 3 rental houses and that's it. So meanwhile, you know, we haven't bought anything because of this pandemic because you're afraid. I don't know about anybody else, but I am. So, you know, keeping money, making sure there's money in the, you know, and like every savings and everything is, again, I used to, guys, only keep in savings a year's worth of bills, right? For a rainy day. Now I'm starting to feel like you need to have at least 5. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, you know, I'm terrified of it. You know, like, is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? What?
Dave Ramsey in a while, but 12 months, like 6 or 12 months was his thing. I wonder what it is now.
Yeah. I haven't listened to him in a while either. Yeah. But I am very curious to see what he would say now because before it was 6 months to a year. So I kept a year and you know what I'm saying? That year didn't last. Like, it was like, it just like water, like it just was diarrhea. You know what I'm saying? You have bills and, you know, it's just going through, you know, like, fuck, when is this going to open up again? Like my savings were supposed to be for rainy days. They're not supposed to be for living off of it. Yeah. And so, you know, when you've stopped working, that's kind of how it is, you know? And like I said in the past, it was like, I was kind of beating myself up for not having like, you know, other gigs, you know what I'm saying? Other things to do, you know? So, but going here and it's like, are you really ambitious? Are you as ambitious as you thought you were? Because looking at this, it just makes you feel like, you know, shit, this guy did it. And it happened for him after a divorce. That's what you were getting at. Okay. Yeah, it happened to him after a divorce. What am I going to do? Because he used to have a shop that made that did like custom cars. So he already had the experience, right? And then decided to make an ice cream place to make money after his divorce, I believe. I didn't get the divorce part, but Pete said there was a divorce in there. I thought it was they had a baby or something, but I don't know. He needed to figure something out. He made an ice cream truck. Sold ice creams out of this food park. And then one person asked another, and then that's when the TV show was offered. And then it was like, bam. Interesting. There's so many things to talk about there, right? But his thing was the fabrication and the cars and stuff. He kind of parlayed that into another small business, which was the ice cream. And then he's done other things from there. But
for you or anybody else listening, or even myself, like what is if you had to draw it out from like high priority to lower priority, like just say a top 3, like what are the top 3 things that you're ambitious about, right? It's real estate. It's obviously her brand, her apparel, without talking about Chingo stuff, like obviously the tour and live entertainment, but what else is your other third thing? Podcasting, entertainment, influencer of sorts, and then just doubling down on that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. It's not like tomorrow you're going to go out and start fabricating, kitchens and trucks.
But like it made me think like so many people sacrifice. Like for example, now I'm using DOB as an example, but they don't have kids, right?
Yeah.
But and not saying that should be an excuse, because you mold your kids to what your lifestyle is, right? A lot of us parents, like, we look at our kids and we're like, fuck, I don't want them to have to go through that, right? Because you're a parent, and I feel that. But kids will mold to whatever you do, whatever lifestyle you give them. They'll adjust. They're amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, my sister called Penny and she was like, where are you? She's like, otra casa y otra casa. Because she's been out of town with us. So we've been staying in Airbnb. So she's been staying in different houses, So she's like, otra casa. Mami, como mamá? San Antonio, Tanatono, Texas.
That's funny.
Tanatono. It's hilarious. But, so, they had a warehouse. They lived in the basement of their warehouse. They cooked, they did laundry. And I remember there was an episode where she has a pile of laundry, and I'm just like, that's so disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like way too much laundry. Like, and it's all gym clothes. So I can only imagine how stinky it was. Yeah. It was a long time ago for DLB. But anyway, it's underneath they have their dogs there. Like, it's just a really open area. It was underneath the Warehouse gym, the old one, in Pennsylvania. And it was a sacrifice that they made, and look where they are now. Right.
Right.
So it's like, okay, do we sacrifice that? Like, we want a big, warehouse type feel where we have all sorts of production happening out of there. And do they suck it up? Like, I feel like the only one I worry about is Mickey, because she's older. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if she's lived a certain lifestyle for so long, but my 2 are little. So right now I can still get them to adjust to whatever I want. They can still share a room. They're itty bitty. Soleil's still in my room, but Mickey, it's a little bit harder because she's a teenager. And if I had her share a room with a 3-year-old, it's kind of like, I know there's a lot of people that do it, but it's, it'd be kind of like, okay, well, damn. So it'd be just a sacrifice that everybody would have to make if we decided to buy this big warehouse and we're just going to live out of a corner of this warehouse, you know what I'm saying? Until we get this off the ground, whatever it is that we're trying to do, So it's one of those things. It's like, what do you do? That's why I had told Pete, I'm like, all right, we need a clear vision of what the investment's going to be for 2021. Like, what is it? Is it a brand new house? And anyway, our old house would become either an Airbnb or a rental. So this would be like we got an additional, what do you call it?
Asset?
Like an additional rental per se. You know what I'm saying? And then we go to our new house, right? It's like we got 2. Or do we go ahead and do this commercial property, which I just started looking at commercial properties because that's where I'm at now.
Have you guys gotten into the Airbnb game yet?
No, they're rentals. So like we rent them out where they have contracts.
So Dawn's sister, the one that you met that went with us to the show, her and her husband who was with her, they have 2 rentals. I think one in New Braunfels and one in Seguin, or maybe 2 in Seguin, something like that, which is like 45 minutes south of where y'all's Airbnb was. And we were going to stay at their Airbnb, and then we ended up, just like we told you, splitting time with her mom and her dad and whatever. So that was fine. So my thought was I didn't want them to book it up for us and just kind of, because they had just opened it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they immediately started getting like 1 night, 2 night, 3 nights here, just random middle of the week weekends. And that weekend, I was like, I don't want to take up a weekend of theirs. Like, just tell them it's fine. Tell them to reopen it. We'll just stay at your parents. Whatever. I don't care. I'll sleep on the floor. I'm not picky. They booked it that weekend immediately, as soon as they opened it back up. And then that same person booked it for the entire following week. So I think that it was like, I don't know, $1,400 or $1,500 for that week. And then, and then already Airbnb has the like hot find here in this little town of Seguin or whatever. And it's just like, you can do it. People can do it if that's what you want to do. But I know that he put a lot of time into this one Airbnb, a lot of time, a lot of work. I don't know what the initial investment was and how long it'll take to get that investment back out. And then you still have the mortgage on the place. So it's like, it's its own thing. If you want to go into real estate hardcore, which we always talk about it, I find it super interesting. I know something about it, but it's like, you would have to sacrifice something else. You might have to sacrifice some her like apparel stuff to get even deeper into more real estate because it takes that much time.
Even now, we don't have the time for it. That's why they're rentals.
Right. You just sign that year contract and that's it.
Yeah, that's why they're not Airbnb. But I want to because Kim knows someone who has 3 houses on my same block. And she Airbnbs those and makes 10 grand off of each one, Rob, off my street.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
So close to everything.
Because we're so close to everything. You're near the medical center. A lot of people who are doing like cancer treatments will lease out, will do, because Airbnb now allows you to do a month.
Oh, wow.
So, and I only know that because when we were going to go to California.
Ooh, you dodged the bullet.
And they were nice enough to get my deposit back, bro.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I lost this money. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm so mad. I'm like, I can't afford any money not to be given back to me right now. So, yeah, they gave it back to me. They only kept 150. I was like, shit, that's fine. 150 compared to the rest. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And it was because I guess like you ruined you held those dates and someone else could have had it, which I get, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So yeah, you know, it just kind of makes you think, you know, like, so I guess for this episode, for my listeners, you know, some people love to do the 8 to 5. That's their thing. And they don't want, and I don't blame them sometimes. Like, I wish that I could turn it off at 5 p.m. and that's it, versus sitting there and then watching more videos on YouTube of other successful people doing shit. And you're just like, why do I do this to myself again? Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's kind of one of those things. You're
just wired that way though. You can't help it.
Yeah, I guess so. And it's just like, you're just kind of sitting there and you're just kind of wondering and you're just kind of feeling like a certain kind of way. And it's always when you see someone who, it takes a lot for me to be impressed. I was super duper impressed. Like, and even Pete was like, I walked out of there feeling like I've done nothing in life. Like, your degree, nobody's degree matters. Like, whatever doctorate's degree, you're not even making a fourth of what this man is making.
Yeah.
In this thing. So it's like, that's why it's like degrees are nothing. They mean nothing because you have someone who's just got ambition, who's got talent, who knows how to do something, can come and just make some shit happen. And that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? And he's so giving back. And that's probably like what's even more attractive about him is like, not the man himself,
sure,
you know what I mean? But like when he's done, it's the fact that when you're so caring and giving, I think God blesses you more that way. I don't know. My grandma has always said like never to be greedy with food. Like that's the one thing she's always been like. She's like, even if it's the last taco you have, like offer it. And then, you know, if they don't want it, then they don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, God will always multiply way more to you. And so that's always been in my head for me, like all the time. And so like, the fact that I see him do that, you've got to watch some of these episodes that he's done.
Yeah.
I think it's making the business or something like that.
Okay. Wait. Your little juice. Well, that's one of my biggest gripes with people who are very anti-capitalist and anti, you know, making money and just constant grinding and it's all about the money and it's all about the stuff. It's like, no, it's not just that. It's about, you can't fill cups with an empty pitcher. Okay. And if your pitcher is constantly empty because you're not aspiring or achieving anything, that you really can't help your community. You can't help your family. You can't help the less fortunate or whatever it is you want to do, whatever you consider your form of tithing, you know, is. So that's what my thing is like, I'm going to do as much as I can so that I can fill other people's cups when possible.
Exactly. So this one show was called Built for Business. I think it's the name of his thing. But these are called cruising kitchens.
That's cool.
Yeah. So go on YouTube, look up cruising kitchens. That's where you'll see a lot of the stuff that they've done. They did this cool car for this guy who only had like little elbow nubs and like knee. I think they stopped here or something.
Oof, yeah.
And made a fucking like special car for him. These little pockets in there. They almost look like little cup holder steering wheel so that he could turn the wheel like this, bro.
Wow. That's awesome.
I was like, okay, I'm not crying, you're crying. Like I was watching the episode. Yeah, exactly. I was like watching the episode and I was like, oh, he's even got a good heart. He's got all this money and a good heart. Jesus Christ. It's a hard combo. I'm like, dang, man. It's amazing. But yeah, today's episode, I really came in and you know, if you're listening, sit back and think about what it is your focus really is. I hate when people says, do you have a New Year's resolution? I don't ever make New Year's resolutions. I seriously I just set goals in general. And if one didn't get achieved that year, then it you know, transfers over to the next year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then I sit there and evaluate what I didn't do right that year to accomplish that goal and how I'm going to fix it so that I can accomplish it the following year. You know what I'm saying? And it's having a clear vision of what you want and having a clear vision of how you're going to execute it. And then finding the means. Sometimes it doesn't just have to be your money. It can be somebody else's money who'll help you get started. And then it's like he talked about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's just like time to reevaluate a lot of stuff.
All right, so let's kind of without having to get too personal or detailed, how did you come back with, or what did you do with the ambition that you came back with? Like, what was it going to be parlayed into? Like, what was that thing or those 2 or 3 things that you want to really parse out the systems of and figure it out and hone in on it and just sharpen it?
Well, I feel like it's not fair to the like I don't care what anybody says. We're in a social media world, guys. Like whether you like it or not, we're in a social media world. If you're starting a business, guess what? Social media is your best friend, and that's what's going to help you grow your business. Word of mouth is also great too. You know, doing pop-ups is great as well. But I mean, back then you used to put an ad in the paper. Mm-hmm. You used to, you know, put an ad in, you know, in La Subasta, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you got your business known. Now, I don't even know who buys that still.
La Subasta. I used to pick those up all the time at Fiesta and shit.
Yeah, we used to get those to wrap paper, like to wrap when you're moving. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Plates
like
and glasses.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, who grabs one of those anymore?
I used to love that. It's so crazy you brought that up. I used to love just getting papers and seeing what was going on. What's in the classifieds? What's going on? Are there any? Even as a young like kid, I was like, what can I buy and then flip? You know, I was always into that.
Well, I used to like looking at people looking to lease their houses or looking for a roommate, because they used to trip me out on the roommates that would look for like, what's the criteria for your roommate? And like, isn't that so weird?
Super
like
weird.
I used to think that it was like crazy, like being little and remembering like, so you're gonna. Where do you find a person like that? Like, so do you read that and like, oh, that's me. I'm totally the roommate that he's looking for or she's looking for. And then you call. That was so crazy to me. Like,
I can't believe people
strangers.
Do that. Yeah.
You don't know each other, but you're seeking a roommate, which, I mean, it's still normal. People still do it nowadays. I mean, when you go to college, you usually don't know who your roommates are going to be in your dorm. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you know each other. You don't get to pick, which is partially the reason why my ex-roommate and I, college roommate, we took classes at Blinn Junior College so that we didn't go in as a freshman, so that we didn't have to live
in the dorms.
On the dorms. And so then when we started school, we could live on our apartment. We had already got our apartment. That was also another reason why we couldn't fuck around.
Nice.
And so anyway, I think for me right now is I don't think it's fair to my I guess the media part of her and the media part for Chingo, right? I feel like we make time for podcasting. We make time for working out. Like those are two concrete things. Like when you're like, what's the schedule? I'm like, well, I have Sean in the morning, right? That's scheduled in. And then I have you. So the same way I feel that I schedule the two things that I find important, I also need to find like make time to do videos, which means like, I need to have a day for filming. I need to have a day for whatever it is, production day, the other days that I'm not working out with Sean in the morning or recording with you, then it needs to be dedicated to recording my videos because I'm paying someone to give me these ideas. And here's the crazy part is that Ilse breaks it down from intro, body, exit of a video. So I'm not doing any thinking except for making sure I have the right shots, making sure that someone's filming for me, and I'm doing whatever the trend is or whatever she's suggesting for me to do. How much easier do you want it, Marisol?
I don't know, Marisol. You tell me.
I mean,
what's missing?
A camera person.
Yeah, that's important.
Sometimes I do it, but it gets a little bit hard when it's yourself because it's like, move the tripod, hurry up, now go back, press record. You know what I'm saying? And then move over there.
Yeah.
Okay, now stop. If you look at the videos, guys, some of the videos that I'll be posting in for the Patreon for your workout videos, if you'll be able to tell which ones were done by Joseph and which ones were done by me, because mine were done by a tripod on the floor, and the other ones are done by what do you call it, Joseph, which is all professional with a little, what are those called, Rob? The gimbals, or what are they?
Yeah, gimbal. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess like what I wanted everybody to take away today. Oops, sorry, I pressed the video of the name of the is I want you guys to really like
we both got a message we were just reading. That was from Chingo. It must be an old, I don't know why you got that. Must have been an old one that was still running, unless, give me a second.
Guys, you see what I mean?
His ad account's back up.
It is?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I did it 3 different times.
My husband is shadow banned, guys.
Jesus Christ, I'm more excited right now than anything else about that.
Y'all don't understand. Like, we've been having to promote ads.
Dude, his ad account, so I think we kind of mentioned it. His ad account, the ad account that we use for all the shows was disabled about a month ago. It's been about 3 weeks now. And it just came back up. He sent a screenshot of an ad that was running for the Addison shows, which is when it got disabled. And we haven't been able to do anything with it. I couldn't turn it off. Not luckily, they turned them off, so it's not like it was running. But now that he sent that, I was like, wait a minute, it's on.
Awesome. So now we can do the rest of them there.
Yep.
Sorry, guys, for that.
Inside baseball.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, going back to that, I just really think that we need to sometimes think about what it is that we want. And if your ambition is to be it could be something small. Because sometimes it's even about relationships, Rob. Like you as a parent, like I need to stop. Like my phone needs to be turned off, not used. Don't get on it from this time to this time, because sometimes Penny will be getting my attention. I'm sitting there trying to answer like an email, and I caught myself the other day as she was trying to get mommy, and she went like this. She put her hand like trying to move the phone from me. And I said, yep. Yeah, like cut it off.
Yeah,
like,
I do, yeah. Do you try to be very conscious about that around the kids? Yeah, same. It's tough sometimes when you just want to get stuff done. Like you want to do the extra thing that day or that afternoon or that evening or whatever,
so that I don't have to do it the next day. It's one less thing.
Or super late when you should be asleep so that you're rested for the next day. It's a constant battle.
Guilty.
Yeah, but we do a pretty good job about it. I think all of us. I don't just mean me. I mean, I think we all do a pretty good job about paying attention to that.
Yeah, I try to not use my phone at all. Once Luisa leaves, it's like, all right, bitch, you ain't been here all day. You've been working. So, put it aside and, focus on your children, which I do a good job of. I'm telling you, my screen time has gone down a lot. Did I tell you it was down 25%?
No, it's a lot.
That's a lot. So, and obviously it shows because I haven't been posting much on my, on my personal page. I've just been really focused, guys. I really want, I'm not kidding you. And I know it doesn't show it on the Patreon, but guys, I am like working on stuff for you guys because I'm so excited about this HERR community. And I feel like more people are excited. I actually met a patron this weekend in San Antonio. Her name is Susan, maybe. No, it's not Susan. It's with an S. Susie, maybe. Damn, my bad if you're listening. I don't remember your name.
It was a lot of sold out shows.
It was a lot of people I met, and we're at 24 patrons, guys, which is like a big deal to me. And it's like 24, girl. There's people that have thousands. I know, but
this isn't about comparison, Marisol.
I'm just right now. I just feel like I'm very proud of like everybody who has signed up because, I don't really promote it. I don't push it like I probably should. What is her name? Hold on. It's Susie de la Luna.
Yeah, Susie. I thought so.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out to her for coming out. Oh, thank you for my birthday present also. She brought me these cute earrings, which, damn it, I saved the paper because it's another local owned, I guess it must be like a boutique, somebody that she knows, and she gifted me some earrings from her boutique. It's female owned, and I was happy to see that she purchased something for me from a female owned business, and I just kind of felt it was all like girl power type thing, so it was kind of cool. And then she brought me this cool, it's almost like goat, what do you call it? Protein. What is that?
Collagen?
No, the goat whey type thing. Yeah, it's goat protein, right?
Okay, I don't know. Is it? I know beef protein and pea protein and.
Well, yeah, there's goat. One. There's a goat one.
Okay.
It's a goat milk type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she brought me something like that, but for toddlers.
Oh.
That's what she put her kids on after she weaned them off the bottle or whatever.
She was trying to give you a nudge, like, it's all right, girl. It's okay.
All right. Quit trying to breastfeed. No. My mom's like, so hopefully after 6 months you stop. I'm like, I did it for Penny for a year. Why would I stop at 6 months? She goes, yeah, I don't know. You should probably think about 6 months. She was like, you make everybody's job easier. and it's only because Soleil will kind of have, she can do bottles for so long. And then after a while, it's just like, somebody better get my mom's milk around here. Somebody better give me her boob. I don't know, but it's not going to work. And then she kind of like caves in and says, fuck it, I guess I'm not getting my mom's boob around here. So I'll do this nasty ass formula, so she'll drink it. But it's like, she goes, before she'll finally take the bottle. Yeah, I know.
You gotta let it go through it.
Yeah. So, so think about it, guys. Think about, what are your ambitions?
By the way, I have your melts here. I forgot to give it to you before the show. So we have a whole. Don and I had a whole conversation on the way from San Antonio back home on Sunday when we came back. It made the entire 3 hours for the most part fly by, even though we were so tired from bad sleep and all that shit. We had a great conversation about an idea that we had to incorporate her stuff, like her scents, So we'll talk about it later. But we literally we talked about it for 2.5 of the 3 hours. Made a bunch of Google notes and stuff just to kind of go through them, her and I, about how we can make it work and be really creative with some of these scents. So do you have a melter or wax melt? You do? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Perfect. So you can test these out. And it's the same. It's the same one it's the pumpkin coffee.
Whenever they make me my samples to send out in the little box for you guys, it's fire.
Yeah, they smell fantastic, and it's not even open yet.
It smells so good. Every time I come in here, I just want to sit. If I had that smell in a coffee and a book,
dude,
bro,
I fucking love it. And I love wax melts just as much as candles, because you can have 2 or 3 melters and just kind of switch up a little bit if you want to. The candles, it's you don't want to burn so many different candles. Yeah. But anyway, I think you're gonna really like the idea, and you're gonna like how these turned out. And just to kind of give a little sneak peek for the listeners, we were trying to decide a name, and we were trying to do something specific to pumpkin and coffee. And then we were driving, I was like, what if we just did seasonal scents for Marisol, and it was her fall scent, her winter scent, her spring scent, her summer scent,
her fall.
So stupid. What a mom joke. What a fucking mom joke.
I know.
Her fall.
Oh my God. When I was telling Midnight, because he goes up to that Jenny 6'9". I was like, bro, you need to get up there and say, this is buchona shit. Y'all don't know about bucho, because that's what she says, right? This is buchona shit. And I guess buchona really originally means you're the wife of a cartel.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that either. I learned it from her. So buchona means you're this bad bitch that's, I guess, the wife of a cartel, which you're buchona. You handle shit too. You got to take care. You got your man's back.
To say that.
So I told him to say, but he never said it. But it was I had a whole bit for him, and it was it was funny because we were going into the elevator, and I said, if anybody else needs me to write a little 5-minute set for y'all, I got y'all. I'm and then Pete's like, well, why don't you work on my set? I'm like, hell no, I can't have another job for you. I do all your jobs.
Too many
I can't add one more to you. I can't be your writer also.
God.
But I know Jim Gaffigan and his wife write together, which I think that's pretty cool.
Love Gaffigan.
Yeah, same here. I like that kind of humor. I don't know what you call that. I don't know if it's dry humor, but
kind of is.
Is it? Yeah.
Do you know his famous Hot Pocket bit? Hot Pocket. Okay. And anyway, that's like a perfect example of just like, he's not very animated. He's not like, he's just like very calm cadence and just right to it and dry, but it's hilarious. He
travels with all his kids.
Yeah, he's got a lot of kids.
And they travel in a bus.
But Jim Gaffigan's been famous and rich for over 3 decades now. Like, of course you can afford to do that.
I know, but I can afford to bring my children too, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. It's not so easy.
And that's why I'm saying I don't know how they do that. I mean, I can afford...
Maybe they have a day nurse and a night nurse and a...
I was like, even like Johnny Swim, they'd go on the tour with all their children and the nanny. And you know what I'm saying? I felt like every time, it never fails. That's why Pete hates it, right? It's like I always feel guilty for leaving them in the house.
When
like
you go to work?
During the day.
Right.
Like even if Pete and I will go to the coffee shop to do work. This is our routine, guys, when we're out of town and it's just he and I. It's we get up, we have breakfast, grab coffee, right? Then we'll sit there at the coffee shop or wherever it is that we got our breakfast from and work for a little bit. Hit the gym, get back to the hotel. We'll chill for a little bit, shower, go pick up lunch somewhere, come back, get ready, and then that's it. But here it's like, did I entertain my kid? My kid's been stuck in this house all day, which I don't know what the difference between that is and her being here at home and being stuck here all day.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
It's in your head.
But I just feel so bad that they're there. So it's like... So there I am, like, what can I find for them to do? Let's go get ice cream. I took Penny to the park. We went to the Pulga in San Antonio, you know.
How was that?
That was cool. I think Penny that was Penny's bro.
What?
I had okay, we're going to end it with this. I have never had the toddler 2 issue, right?
Wait
terrible
a minute.
2.
Terrible 2s?
Terrible 2s, never, right?
Not yet.
She's 3. So we passed it.
You're at the 3-nager stage.
Okay. Well, I also had just bragged about to Luisa. I had just said, you know what I'm most thankful for with Penny is that she never gives me tantrums. Like when I say no, it's no. She's not like, wah, or, you know, like making a big old scene. She just goes, okay, you know. And I'll usually say like something like, well, we can go do something else, right? And just not here. It's time for us to go. So I told her the lines to get on these rides at Traders Village in San Antonio were insane. I was not going to sit through them. And plus, we needed to get back.
Yeah.
Because we have to start getting ready. And it's a process, guys. Not so much for me, but for my husband. It's like he needs to start mentally getting prepared to go and entertain people, which means a lot of time for him is like him and his thoughts, him listening to his set. You know what I'm saying? And so... we needed to get back. So I said, I'll get you the guitar. I said, because you didn't get on the rides. I said, and thank you for being such a good girl and not making a big deal. Okay. So she's all playing her guitar. We get in the car and then she's like, I'm not ready to go. I'm like, I know, but we got to go. Mom and Dad have to go to work, you know? And then she's like, but I don't want to go. And I said, I know, we got to go. And she's like, I want to get on the ride. And she just starts crying and crying like bloody murder, like like that kind, guys.
So before you go any further, were you immediately angry or were you immediately not ashamed but like embarrassed?
It was in the car already.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't
okay.
That's my thing. She saved it because she even said bye to Midnight and Yadira like, bye guys, like really nice. We get in the car, I sit her down, and that's when it like hit her, I guess, like, oh shit, I didn't get to ride. Wait, what about the rides type thing?
Yeah.
Bro, I was so livid. I pulled over and I said, shut your mouth or I'm going to spank you. And she just looks at me and I said, cállate ya. And she just... and then she stopped. I get in the car. No spanking needed to happen, right? And then she starts again. And I'm just looking at her and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just feeling like the angry feeling in me is like being egged on by the other guy. I don't know who's egging that on, but I always think of the little guys from what's that, Inside Out? Like they're all like, leave her alone. She's trying to calm down. Hell no, let's make her more mad. That's kind of how I feel they're happening in there. And so I was like even more mad. And then finally, she calms down, right? And she's over it. And she's singing songs like this, but she's singing belly beto like that. And I'm just like, we get home and she's trying to talk to me. I said, oh no, yo no hablo con niñas chifladas. And she's looking at me. I said, mm-mm. And then she's like, starts again. I said, think about it. Think about this crying. No one spanked you. No one's done nothing to you. Let's talk about this. Why are you crying? Well, because you're mad at me. I said, I'm not mad at you. I just said, I'm not happy with you right now. If I tell her that she broke my heart, that's all I have to say to her. So like spanking doesn't even need to happen. We always go like this to each other. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll go like this. And then she comes over and she does the other. She completes my heart, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell her, I'm like, see this?
Oh my God, that's like it's so evil. You didn't have to whip out the old knife, knifey boo.
She got off of that one. So I just separate the heart. So then that was it, right? And so then she's apologizing. And so I told her, I said, we have the pinky swear. I said, do you understand what pinky swear is? It's a promise. And so I said, if you promise, I said, you can't throw tantrums. Do you understand? I'm like, I get, she loves the whole sorpresa thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so cute to me. It can be a 99-cent thing. And she thinks I'll be like, de una sorpresa. Okay. She does this. Then I'll be, abre sorpresa. And it's a piece of candy. She's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that whole thing melts my heart. So I'll be like, I buy you surprises all the time. I said, so why would you be mean to me? And so she's looking at me, and it's a matter of just talking sometimes is better than a spanking. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets through more to them, right? But it's kind of like it was her first one, and I like, it's almost like I jinxed myself because I had been just bragging about how I'm so thankful she doesn't, throw these tantrums at the store or like does anything funny like that. She's always very good, and I'm just like, dang, And so the other night, I was like, that's it. I mean, she's got, and any moms who listen to this and can relate to this, I just feel like I've lost my schedule with her, with the baby, because of the baby. Because I have to I'm trying to create a schedule for the baby. You know what I'm saying? She gets kind of like, Pete tries to stay up with it, but Pete gets pushed around a lot by her. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like, he's a softie for her, and so like, which I understand, I get it, that's his daughter, it's his baby girl, whatever. But I'll have to butt in, and then it's like, okay, so right now, what's been helping me, and it's the worst thing in this earth. We read a book. She watches whatever she watches. She bathes. She has dinner, bathes, goes and lays down in her bed, and I let her watch YouTube while she's laying in bed so that I can hurry up and go bathe Soleil and then try to put her to sleep and then tell her whenever Soleil is done, when I'm done taking care of her, you've got to turn the iPad off, right? So then it's like, okay, so then we'll turn it off. And so that she gets something productive, we read a book before she goes to bed. And then it's like she struggles going to bed. It's like it's like, I don't know what time to wind her down now. It's like, we started at 8:30. Shit. Why is it still 10 o'clock? You still have this much energy. She's been going to bed late, like 11 o'clock, 11:30. Once we're all going to go lay down, she's going to lay down. Yeah. Well, before it was like, she was never in bed anything later than 10 p.m. Like 10 p.m. was probably the latest.
Dude, it's going to be tough. And this might seem like, some of the ladies might be like, well, that's super mean or super assholish, but you cannot let them sleep later than 10 because they would do it at the same time. And I would lay on the floor. I would lay between their beds at 9, 9:30, 9:45, like 10, 10:15 until they went to sleep. They weren't getting out of their beds. They weren't getting out of the room because if you just left the room, they'll get out of their beds.
That's exactly what happens.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
No, go back to your bed. And then you go back in the living room. Hey, what are you guys doing? go back to your bed. I'd have to lay there on the ground. Even Dawn would get way more frustrated faster than I would. So I would just lay there and they might say something like, hey, what do you think we're going to do tomorrow? I don't know, man. We'll talk about it in the morning. You know, they'll just ask questions. They'll keep each other awake. They'll talk to each other like, Weston, where's my dinosaur? Or I don't know. I was like, guys, don't talk to each other. It's bedtime. And it honestly, it did take like 2 or 3 months of just that in order for them to get ready for the routine. This is when you're going to bed. No talking to each other. No coming in the living room. It's bedtime. See when the sun comes up. And we got them that clock. The clock turned red when it was bedtime, and you couldn't get out of your bed until the clock turned yellow when the sun came up. It was a sun clock, and it would turn colors, and that's when that worked really, really well.
Well, see, that's crazy because I might need to get her that clock because she looks at the window. And I tell her it's nighttime. And so I said at night, when you go to sleep, remember when the sun comes out, and she'll tell me when she comes to wake me up, she'll say, hey, the sun's out. It's time for us to get up. Yeah. Okay, great. That's fine. I don't care. But you know what I'm saying? It's the night routine right now that's thrown off for her. And
that's tough.
Yeah, she's like I said, like at the Airbnb, she was staying. I'd come home from the shows and she's up still.
It's like midnight. At 1 a.m. Yeah.
It's midnight. And I'm just like, why isn't she asleep yet? She's like, well, you know, I'm kind of, and I understand her. She's taking care of the baby.
Right.
So you either let one kind of do what they want to do while you take care of this one over here. I'm guilty of it. That's what's been happening at my house, you know?
It's not going to be perfect, but, you know, you can try everything you can. And I think that clock would probably help Penny.
Yeah. I want to start again, like, hey, it's this time. You got to go to bed. Okay. Don't forget, you know? Because before we were on it. I mean, she was in bed and we didn't have Soleil. I mean, she'd be in bed and then it was like Pete and I would hang out, you know, 9:30. And it's just me and him. And it's like, cool.
And then y'all chose to have another one.
And then we decided to have Soleil. She's so damn cute.
She's so damn cute, but also I can't sleep. I ain't slept in 3 months.
Sleep is better.
Oh, that's good.
Sleep is better. I kind of figured out what has to... I have to just let her keep my boob in her mouth the entire night. And then she's done, son. And then I put her in her little bassinet. That's it. Whatever. If that's what's going to soothe you, fuck it. I don't care. Let me sleep. So now we've been doing good. She gets up at 9:30 a.m. now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So, very impressive. Luisa got here today at 9. I was already like getting ready to go to the gym and stuff. And then she goes, where's the baby? I said, she's out. She's like, she's still listening. I'm like, yep, 9 o'clock. She woke up because she started hearing too much like noise happening in the house. So that was why.
Cool.
Yeah. So on that note, guys, give me some tips. If you're a mom of 2 and you had a toddler and a baby, how did you keep the schedule together? And don't forget, what are your ambitions? Which I think we could talk about this in our Facebook group that I've created. And I'm just making a banner for it before I send the link to everybody. I'm working on it on Canva. And so it'll be cute. And then we can all chit chat in there. And I can't wait.
I like it.
I like it too. So I think this is going to be quick. I'm going to try to post a question a day. Like, you know, shit that I see that makes me ponder sometimes, you know? So it's like, let me...
see what the ladies think.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, guys, our merch will drop sometime next month. I'll let you guys know that. But don't forget that for you guys, y'all just use Thanks15. Even if it's a brand new item, you get 15% off all the apparel. So thank you guys for listening. See you guys next week.
Friday.